If you thought that this was going to be an absolute butt kicking by Oregon against Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl, congratulations, because you called that one right. And if you're a Ducks fan, okay, cool. If you're not a Ducks fan, let me know in the comments below what led you to believe Oregon would shut out Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl. And now we really got to revisit the 12-team playoff because, well, it's happening. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year-round. If you're into that, hit that subscribe button. Like this video. Answer the question in the comments below. Is Oregon going to win? Is Oregon going to win the national championship? Yeah, that's the question that I want you to answer in the comments, because that defense looked like it read all of the press clippings, and there are many press clippings about Texas Tech's defense that said they ain't synced us yet. I realize y'all think that just because we let James Madison put up 534 on us, that you must think we some kind of soft. I realize y'all think because Tosh Lapoya is on his way out, that you must think that we ain't about our business. But that's Dylan Thieneman back there. That's Bryce Betcher back there. That's Mateo Uiagalelei. Side note, we were up on the wrong Uiagalelei for so long. Uiagalelei, excuse me. And then Brandon Finney said, yeah, I'm him. Throw the ball over here. I'm coming down with it. 2 interceptions for this man and a fumble recovery. That, for me, is the MVP of this game, and also devastating defense. Awesome defense by Oregon. And while it wasn't the Texas Tech defense played bad, in fact, it didn't. I mean, they allowed just 301 total yards and just 56 rushing yards from a team that had been putting up more than 2,200 with 3 backs. You know, like, they run the football, and they run the football well, but it was really Dante Moore getting it done when he had to get it done, because wasn't a whole lot of opportunities when he did need to get it done. I mean, 4 of 18 on third down, your defense did its job. Just 16 first downs for Oregon, your defense did its job. 3 of 7 on fourth down for Oregon. Texas Tech's defense did its job. It was the Texas Tech offensive line that looked like it was made of paper mache. Look, there's a quote about Texas Tech, or by Texas Tech, about the Big 12 that I thought was interesting. And I believe it's Cody Campbell, right? If it's not Cody Campbell, I apologize. But the quote is still staggering no matter who says it. The Big 12, or Big 12 teams are going to have 1 or 2 guys that play in the NFL on their offensive line each year. Everybody else is going to go pro in something else. At Texas Tech, they're trying to do something different. They're trying to get 5 dudes on that offensive line every year that's going to get drafted. This ain't that offensive line, dog. That ain't this offensive line. This offensive line guy, Baron Morton, destroyed. 4 sacks, 4 turnovers by that Texas Tech offense. I realized that in the biggest game of his life, Baron Morton playing some of the worst football he's ever played is enough of the negative criticism. 18 of 32 for 137 ain't getting it done, dog. And he didn't get much help, right? 29 rushes for 69 yards. That's 2.4 yards per carry by this Tech offense. I mean, every now and again, it looked like they were going to have a guy on the outside that's going to step up. Reggie Virgil, Terrence Carter. You know, like, those dudes were making plays when they needed to. I mean, Terrence Carter had 9 for 72. And right as it looked like Texas Tech is going to get themselves back into a really, really great spot, Baron Morton throws the football where there's only 1 Tech receiver and there are 2 Tech defensive backs, Oregon defensive backs. And Brandon Finney, they played that match pattern so well. If you watch the play again, it's trips to the left, and they look like they're lined up in man. But what they are in is kind of a match concept, meaning if number 1 breaks inside, the inside corner is going to take number 1. Number 2 goes to the outside corner. They played it perfectly, because I saw inside corner take number 1 and never look to what his number 2 was doing. He let that guy go, and Brandon Finney dropped back and said, cool, ball's up, my ball. That's how you teach it, man. Like, I'm an offensive guy. I love quarterback play, but I really love watching wide receivers and secondary players go at each other. I like watching coverages go, because coverages for me are wheels, right? They're 2 wheels up top, and you can always see the safety spin down or the safety spin up, right? And if you're too high, I love too high. I love too high. except when Indiana plays it, because when Indiana plays it, they make too high look like something you could throw into. And all of a sudden, it's not there anymore because the guy that they're dropping back is not always the guy you expect, or the guy they're dropping down is not always the guy you expect. They make a Tampa 2 look really good, but that I'm getting off into the weeds over there. What I'm saying is, on the left side of that offensive line, you had time for the first time all day for Baron Morton. And what does he do? He throws a jump ball into the hands of Brandon Finney. I hated it for him. It sucked. It was bad. But that, for me, was the highlight or the low light of this game for Tech. We're also going to have to take a hard look at the 12-team playoff. Now, on the one hand, you could say it's simply a coincidence or even just an aberration that all 6 of the teams that have had first-round byes in these two 12-team playoffs have taken losses. Or you could say, no. We are doing these teams a disadvantage by having them sit out for the better part of 3 weeks before they play football. Ohio State certainly looked rusty, but Miami looked like they was going to bully them anyway. But there are little things that I think have to make sense here, right? One of those is we're still not totally advantaging the 1 through 4 seeds. Last year, it was we didn't go with the straight seeding, right? Ranking following the straight seeding. This year, we changed that, so we got ahead of it. Felt like Oregon was done a disservice because they had to run into Ohio State in the Rose Bowl, and they got destroyed. This year, Oregon, like Ohio State last year, gets the home game and runs through a weak opponent and runs through a really great opponent. Those two things don't feel like coincidences. And I do believe that not playing football for 3 weeks is not benefiting the higher seed team. However, one of the arguments that I feel like a lot of y'all going to act like you didn't try to make, but I'm going to find you because we got receipts on this one. Hey, they're playing too much football. Hey, it's too many games. Hey, we don't really think that we need this many games to find out who the national champion is. Look at you now. Look at you now. If you were an Ohio State fan, you're going, damn, I really would have liked that first round game. Oregon's going, thank God we got that first round game. One, you're playing at home, right? Tech would have loved to have played this game at home, by the way. 2, you're playing football the week, or you should be the week after. It's not. We need to do away with this Army-Navy weekend game. Just keep playing football. Play all the way through. And 3, the NFL is always there. And the NFL is slowly eating into the windows where we play college football. So while we got 3 games on New Year's Day and just 1 game on New Year's Eve, even though we got 4 quarterfinals. You know, like Saturday, that's for the NFL this weekend. We're not even going to play meaningful football. We're not going to play college football playoff games. But we are going to play games. I think we're going to have to look at this one. I think I would love to see the board of managers come to an agreement by January 16th when they're supposed to have one. Or is it? Yeah, January 26th. When they're going to extend the college football playoff or not. I have been on record saying I like the 2014 format that has been put out there more than any other. It's pushed by the Big Ten. The SEC's got its thing going. We don't really want this unless they're going to guarantee these teams. Look, 4 teams from each of the Power 4 conferences, and then 6 at-large teams, 2 group of 6 teams, and I think we're good here. I also believe that we really do need to be playing football the week after the conference championship period. And we need to be playing football all the way through. Maybe you take that week of Christmas and you do something different. But having these teams that we know are good through the regular season get beat by rust is really disconcerting. And I think you're going to have people look at this. But excuse me, it wasn't 16-0, it's 23-0. Oregon over Texas Tech because, Dan Lanning loved to pour it on. Dan Lanning is not the one to show any mercy. There is no mercy and there is no quarter. And you know what? Joey McGuire would love it that way. That's what he would do. That's why he coaches his football team. I don't think there's any malice there. But when I look at just what the Ducks were able to do to what we knew was a really good Tech team, all I could say is, better luck next year after the best season you've had, I'd argue, in school history at Texas Tech, and your best chance to win the national championship ever. Watching them go out the way that Ohio State goes out by getting bullied on by a defensive line that just kept whooping your O-lines behind. That's demoralizing. That sucks. And as Baron Morton didn't play well, but a lot of that's because he didn't know where it was coming from. I mean, at one point, we're talking about 2 minutes left, 4th down, you got to have it. You get a mix-up on the left side of the offensive line where a free rusher comes and just destroys your quarterback. Yeah, he ain't going to trust you that much, right? As it stands, Oregon, Gonna get into this thing, and I can't wait to see who they got to play, because if it ends up being Indiana or Alabama, it's still going to be fun. But Oregon, 2 wins away from a national championship. Wow.